and welcome back to my channel and welcome to Stamp With Me, a fun new series that my two friends Amy from One Mommy Scrapping here on YouTube and Miranda Weber started in January, since a lot of us were talking through our goals and planning for 2020, how we really wanted to get into our stamp stash and get some of those stamps used on layout. So we decided to start a bit of a series, and on the second and fourth Wednesday of the month, we'll be posting videos. Now, I'll be participating for sure on the second Wednesday every month. I'm not too sure whether I'm going to manage the fourth, but I will certainly be participating once a month. And this one doubles for one of my How to Kill a Kit with Style, because I used my February How to Kill a Kit with Style. That's based around the gorgeous My Mind's Eye gingham farm. But I also used just a little bit of my Vicky Bouton Kaleidoscope. Since I've been using that up a little bit lately, I just added a little bit of that in there. And if that's not enough, this month in the Rediscover Your Stash Facebook group, we are focusing on stars. So stars. So there you go. So I did an 8.5 by 11 layout. I seem to have been doing quite a few of those lately. I go on kicks every once in a while where I do quite a few 8.5 by 11s, and I enjoy making them and love it. And actually this morning I was just trying to start a 12 by 12, and I seem to be a little bit confused at that large size all of a sudden. Anyway, so this is just a fun layout to go into my everyday book. As many of you know, in addition to scrapbooking, I am an avid tennis fan, and I love watching tennis, and it's something that I can share also with my mom. So this was a match, a Wimbledon match back from 2018, and it was semifinal day. And it is the longest semifinal in the history of Wimbledon, 6 hours and 36 minutes. And it was between a South African, Kevin Anderson, and an American, John Isner. John Isner seems to be the one that always sets records for the longest matches or the toughest matches. Anyway, if you know tennis, it was 4 sets, not 5 though. But it went into a 4th set tiebreaker, and Anderson from South Africa took it 26-24. Tie breaks are usually 7-5. It's basically the first one to get to 7 points with a 2-point differential. So that was a long match. So I used a cardstock background, and this is, I believe it's a cardstock from Stampin' Up, and I think it's always artichoke. Or mossy green, but I think it's always artichoke, so it's a little bit of a darker green, which goes a bit with the green tone that is in Gingham Farm. And I used the cardstock, and then I used 6x6 papers from Gingham Farm. I cut this square to about 4.5 by 4.5, and then this more of a rectangle. I think it's about 5, and it's almost the full 6 inches. Here, maybe 5.5 kind of thing. And I just did a little bit of layering. I had this scrap on my desk, which is just a 3x6 piece, which I cut in 2, and put behind here where these 2 pattern papers join to give a little bit of an additional layer. So it's quite a simple layout with just a little bit of layering. I backed my photo on a bit of a brighter green. It's flat to the page because I wanted to raise some of the embellishment. So I got that on my page, and I inked all the edges here. And yes, this paper must be always artichoke, because that is the ink I used to ink the photo mat and all of the papers. So I got that on, and then I moved the photo. The photo is offset, so everything here is just a little offset, just to give a little bit of interest when you look at the page. Not everything is symmetrical. And then I decided to use the stars to give just a little bit, start at the top, bring you through the photo, and back out the end. I love that kind of thing. So I had stars. I used my dies and my little tiny star punch and a few little star wood veneer, these tiny, tiny ones that came in a Secret Not Secret Kit Club kit at some point, and they were just on my desk. And I mounted all of the stars up on foam. And of course, the wood veneer are not mounted on foam, but they already have some added dimension. So I just put that down the page as well, which gives an embellishment, and it guides your eye. So then that left me with quite a bit of an area. And I had this little die cut from Gingham Farm as well, which and it was already in a banner. I inked it. Because these papers are all in the same tone, and they're sort of like a cream and black and that sort of lovely mossy sagey green, inking all of the edges allows them to sort of stand out and not melt and fade into one another. So I just put that there, and then I got some stamps out. So I have this, which is a new stamp set, fairly new stamp set to me that I got from Stampin' Up, which is Timeless Tropical. And it has this lovely stamp here that says, "Rest and relax, you deserve it." And I thought that was just perfect because these guys were just exhausted at the end. And it's just a lovely, lovely photo of each of the players giving the hand, and then this lovely embrace at the end. A lot of respect shown for one another. So rest and relax, you deserve it, before my journaling, which then goes into explain why they deserve it, being on court for 6 hours and 36 minutes. Then I got this very old October 2014 stamp set from the Scraptastic Kit Club back in the day. And it had and I never used this. So I've got 3 little stamp sets here that I had never used that I got on this page, which I'm quite happy about. And it has this lovely little stamp here that said "Shot from the Heart." So I stamped that on a piece of a little bit, it's sort of like a very, very pale wood grain from the 6x6 paper pad in Gingham Farm. Shot from the heart, because that's what these photos show, really. So I thought that was just perfect. Did a little bit of a fishtail, tucked it into this little heart, and layered it so the photo and this layer still show, shot from the heart. Then I took these 2 stamp sets, and I took this one, which has "It's True" on it, and these 2 little stars. And I stamped these 2 stars here, which I was quite happy about, and then a 3rd one here. But then I went and put 3 stars up here, and quite frankly, I don't think they were required, and I'm not liking them very much, but they're there. A little bit of a question of this is a Stamp With Me layout, got to get those stamps out, maybe getting a little overzealous with stamps. Didn't really need those, but oh well, they're there. And then I coupled it with this little one that has "Today" on it, and it's a challenge. And I thought that was fun here for just a little bit of additional journaling. So really, it's "Rest and Relax, You Deserve It," which is sort of a title. Longest semi in the history of Wimbledon, 6 hours, 36 minutes. Anderson took 26 to 24 in the 4th set. It's true. Today is a challenge. So that was definitely a challenging match. And there was just this little hole, so I just put "It's True" right in there. And that basically was my layout. And then I actually brought it here so that I could start recording it. And then I had a little bit of a look. And as you know, cardstock, it just seemed a little bit empty. And I could hear my lovely friend Helen telling me about my little empty corners. And as a nod to Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life, I just did a little bit of tearing here, took that very pale sort of sandy color wood grain, and ruffled up my little edges here, and just put that there, which just adds to the diagonal of the whole thing and finishes off the layout, I think. So there you have it. That is my stamp with me for this month. I got 3 stamp sets out of my stash that I'd never used, and I got them on a page. How are you doing? And if you are playing along with us, please tag us in Facebook or on Instagram. Link us to your video. Use the hashtag #StampWithMe. Join in with us. And tell me, what do you find the most challenging about using your stamps on a scrapbook page or a layout? What do you find is the hardest to do? For me, I love stamping, and I find this is a fun little way, but I just don't think about it often enough. So the word stamps are maybe the hardest for me to get used, and I'm happy I did this month. Thank you for being here. See you again with another Stamp With Me, maybe in a couple of weeks, but for sure in a month. Thank you for being here once again, and talk to you soon. Bye for now.